are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
Hello, hi, good afternoon. Welcome back to Faith2WORK. My name's Brenda Thompson-Murray and I'm from Elaine Recruitment. Thank you for joining us again this week. So last week we looked at interviews, didn't we? And I really hope it was helpful, that programme. You know, helpful for you, that when you're going for those interviews, that you could kind of use some of those top tips that we talked about. And also hopefully reduce some of that anxiety, you know, when you're going for those interviews, those all important interviews. Because let's face it, it can be so nerve-wracking, can't it? So if you remember last week, I did touch on it a little bit, that I will be having a guest this week to talk about their great charity and what they're doing for people in the community to help them get back into employment. So I am so excited and so delighted to welcome our guests, Elaine and Luke. Thank you both for joining me.
Hello.
On Faith2WORK.
Thank you so much for having us. I mean, it's such a great pleasure to be here with you. And thank you for that lovely, lovely introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you both. How are you both? How are you doing?
Very well.
Yeah, same, doing well.
Excellent.
Yes, I mean, the charity is going well at the moment.
Good.
It's getting very busy, and we're beginning to see lots and lots of clients coming through.
Wonderful.
So that's very good news, because that also means, of course, that there are lots of jobs out there for our clients to apply for.
Oh, wow. Well, we're just excited. I know the viewers are excited to hear more about Suited and Booted. So Maria, tell us a bit about Suited and Booted, your charity.
Oh, well, it's actually our charity, because the charity belongs to everyone, really. And what we do at Suited and Booted is we help unemployed and low-income men with clothing for job interviews. We are a registered charity, and we're based in London, and we're based right in the city of London, which is very useful for our clients because it's easily accessible.
Yes.
When clients want to get to us. And I just wanted to very quickly introduce a former client, Luke, who will be talking to us a bit later about his experiences at Suited and Booted. And Luke has just so kindly agreed to be with us tonight. So many thanks to you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke. Welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show to talk about your experience, because, you know, it's extremely valuable. Often, you know, when people have businesses or services, you know, you get the odd feedback, don't you? You know, where people tick a box to say, yeah, I'm happy. But then to get someone come in and talk about their experience, I think that's so much more valuable. It's more personable. People can relate to it a lot more. So thank you so much. And I'm just really looking forward to hearing, you know, your experience and your journey. So thank you so much. So tell me, Maria, what inspired you to create and set up Suited and Booted?
I think many things, really. But what the charity does is so simple. We style our men with clothing, but we also style them with confidence.
Excellent.
Because the confidence that you can get from a suit, such as a suit that our young client here, Luke, is wearing, can be transformational. It really can change your life.
Yeah.
And we see this often at Suited and Booted. Our clients will come in, they put on a suit, and then you will see the smile, and body language changes, and shoulders go back. Our clients look in the mirror, and they see a different version of themselves.
Wow.
You know, someone who can get that job, someone who can go places.
Yeah.
And it really is wonderful. So the inspiration, I suppose, behind Suited and Booted is that it really could help people to change their lives.
Yeah.
Such a simple idea. And when we see our clients, we don't really know what kind of experiences they're going through. I mean, just the other day, for example, we saw a group of 4 clients, all absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
They had come from the House of St Barnabas, which runs an employment programme.
Okay.
And I think all the clients on the employment programme had been living in hostels. And I spoke to one of the clients there, and he told me his story. And everyone in the room was crying, because what happened to him was that in the pandemic, he lost everything. Before the pandemic, he had a fantastic job as a chef. He had a purpose in life. He had a sense of identity. That's what he did. He was the chef, and he worked in a pub, and he took orders, and he cooked, and he got to know everyone. And his accommodation was attached to the pub.
Goodness.
And what happened in the pandemic is that the pub shut. Our wonderful client that we saw lost his job. He actually was on the streets. He was homeless. He really did make us all cry.
Goodness, I feel myself welling up, because you hear these stories during the pandemic. So many people just really were affected so badly, and my goodness, that must have been awful for him.
So he went from having a lifestyle, a purpose, a sense of identity, because I'm sure, as Luke would agree, if you have a job, it gives you a sense of belonging to society. You wake up in the morning, you've got something to do. And of course, we all know that a job is far more than just a salary or a paycheck or a wage. It gives you connections, and it gives you purpose, inspiration. It helps you think about your experiences and how you can progress through life. So the client that we saw is now on the path to changing his life once more. We saw him after his employment course, and we dressed him in clothing for his future work and future job interviews. And he wrote to us afterwards, and he said that he felt so proud walking through the streets of London with other people from the course. He said that he just felt inspired to do his very best.
Oh, that's a great story, Maria. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. So that was just wonderful, and we have so many fantastic stories.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
So really do.
I mean, this is such a great charity, what you're doing in the community, and just like with that story, just with that experience for that young man, and like you say, many others. It just goes to show just that impact. That when people are looking for work, it's so much, like you said, so much more than just a job. It fulfills so much more for people, doesn't it?
Exactly. So I think it's Seated and Booted. It is about the clothing, but we're far more ambitious than that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's about changing someone's life.
Yes.
And when they're going for a job interview, we want our clients at the interview to feel good and to look outstanding. And that when they walk out of our door, we know that they're going to do their very best. And our clients sometimes come to us, and we've had our room refurbished, I think, since you used to volunteer with us. And we have some lovely changing rooms now. They walk out the changing room, and they do look absolutely stunning.
Absolutely.
And they're so inspired that a lot of our clients don't want to change back into the clothes that they came to us in. That we pack them up, and they walk out of our room into London with a suit that we gave them. Because they are feeling so empowered. I think it is that feeling of empowerment.
It is absolutely. And you touched on it, because I did used to volunteer with you, and I loved dressing the men that came in through the doors. And you're right, when they walked in, the posture was just a little bit sort of down, and once we would dress them, the whole posture changed. And like you say, some of them were like, I don't want to put back on those clothes, I'll go in this.
Absolutely.
And it was just so nice, and it was so rewarding. It's such a rewarding role to dress those different clients coming through the door. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. I really loved that.
And you're very welcome to come back and style.
Well, you never know.
Whenever you have a spare moment.
You never know, exactly, because I love styling. I still love that, and it's also part of my own business that I'm doing in Elaine Recruitment. So you never know. We're going to keep working together.
Absolutely
Maria.
wonderful. I'm just wondering, actually, I've got a testimonial here from a client, and it is so lovely. He was also from the House of St Barnabas. And he sent this to me after he'd left, and it just sounded wonderful, and it sort of, in a way, sums up what we do. So I thought I could just quickly read it to everyone.
Absolutely, would love to hear that.
Thank you. And he said, going to Seated and Booted was like stepping into a different world. Never in my life have I viewed, or, after being personally measured, been able to try on such a diverse and eclectic range of garments, neckties, belts and shoes, let alone being able to actually take some of the best ones home with me. It was like a dream come true, and feeling like $1 million, even long after the fact, has been a massive boost to my confidence. The atmosphere was very welcoming, And my stylist was jaw-droppingly skillful at feeling out and selecting personally fitting, stylish and colour-coordinated threads and accessories at a glance. I'm extremely grateful and would cherish this experience forever. So that just came to us, and it just sort of sums up the work that we do. But also
amazing.
The inspiration
amazing.
that
Thank you. That was
you can give to people.
moving.
Thank you. And I have to say that Seated and Booted, like everything in life, it has been a journey.
Yeah.
I mean, we started off in 2012.
Right. Okay.
Yes, in an old church in Blackfriars, in the city of London.
Okay.
But amazingly, the name of this church was St Andrew by the Wardrobe.
Ah,
Which,
what a coincidence!
Which is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And there was even a wardrobe terrace adjacent to the church.
Wow.
And it was called St Andrew by the Wardrobe because in medieval times
Okay.
there was a building nearby, and it used to house the king's wardrobe and regalia of state.
Wow.
Yes. So we were
That's
there
very
in
interesting.
2012.
Yes.
And when clients come to us, you know, that they're helped by volunteer stylists.
Yes.
And it's very important that we have access very, very quickly to a suit that fits and a style that works for our clients, because our clients could be having a job interview within 2 or 3 days, and actually even sometimes they have a job interview within 2 hours of seeing us.
Wow.
And it's a bit like they come to us and there's a group around them, there's a whole team, because there's a great team of brilliant volunteers at Seated and
I'd like
Booted.
to hear more about that.
Yes, we talk about them a bit later. And, you know, there's someone with a suit, someone with a tie, someone with a shirt.
Yes.
So we have to have everything easily accessible, close to hand.
Yes.
And so we need a lot of space. And the church was absolutely fantastic, and then we outgrew the church.
Yeah.
And now I'm very happy to say that we have got a lovely room. It's very large.
Yes.
And it's helped us enormously, because it means that all our beautiful suits can be laid out, our cufflinks, our ties, our shirts.
Yes, you can see it there. It's on display. You can there's options. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when you come in, it's all laid out, and the stylists can go through the rounds with our clients, and it's a very much one-to-one intervention with people who really do care about the outcome. But I just wanted to say that come June next year, we have to leave our room.
Okay.
So we are at the moment now looking for new premises.
Oh.
And we want to stay, if we can, in central London, where it's very accessible.
Exactly.
Because we see so many clients.
Yeah.
When we first started, Brenda, I think we saw 800 clients.
Wow.
And last year, including 3 months of lockdown, when we weren't allowed to see anyone, we actually saw over 1,500 clients.
Wow.
Which shows you how busy we are.
Yes.
We were phenomenally busy. Yes. So the reason why we want to stay in central London, we want to be very accessible to all our clients.
Of course.
Because they come from the north of London, the south, the west and the east.
Yes.
And where we are at the moment near Liverpool Street has wonderful transport links.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And everyone can get to us.
Yeah, so you want to try and stay central,
absolutely.
don't you?
And it's like most things, if we start looking now, you know, we've got about a year to look.
Yeah.
So we're giving ourselves some time now to find the perfect location again for us.
No, well, I really hope that you find that location. Like you say, you've got a year. And I mean, if there's anybody watching, you know, that's out there that may have, you know, sort of accommodation or some kind of venue, you know, get in touch with myself, and I'll put you in touch with Maria, you know, because I think that this, you know, is an opportunity, you know, for you to get support.
Yes.
You know, because you're doing such a great job out there. So as a community, we want to keep you. We don't want to lose what you're doing. So we need the community to help the community, really. So if there's anybody out there, please get in touch. I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, I would be delighted to hear from anyone who could help, or even anyone with any suggestions or thoughts or ideas.
Yeah, no, that would be brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So what are your main goals for Suited and Booted?
I think the main goals, really, our aim is to change our clients' lives by getting them into work.
Yes.
And when you go for an interview, you know, you want to feel outstanding.
Yeah, of course.
And it's feeling outstanding deep inside yourself, so that you have that self-confidence that can be restored by clothing, because appearance and motivation go very much hand in hand.
Oh, of course they do.
If you're wearing the right clothes and your appearance has changed, and as we were saying earlier, your posture changes, your shoulders go back, you're feeling confident,
Yes.
you walk through the door of that interview, you're going to feel like you could get that job.
Yeah.
And we actually had a client in today, and he came out of the change room. He said, I could now be the Mayor of London. And we all said, well, we'll vote for you.
Yeah.
You'll definitely have our vote.
Oh, that's great encouragement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that really is our overarching aim, to change the lives of our clients. And it could be that our clients have gone through some very, very sad and lonely experiences.
Yeah.
You could have been made redundant. You
Yes.
could have lost your home.
Yes. A lot of
And
that's been happening.
A lot of that has been happening.
Yeah.
We often don't see clients living on the streets, but sometimes we do.
Yeah.
So if we can give our clients that push to get to their job interview feeling confident, it's absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
I never forget years ago when we were first starting, we were very, very new. A chap came to us and he told me his story, and he had been a carer for his wife who had cancer.
Yeah.
And when she died, his life just seemed to unravel.
Yeah.
He lost all sense of purpose.
Yeah.
He lost his identity.
Yeah.
And he became homeless.
That can often happen. Yes.
Yes.
Former carers do find it, because it's so difficult to get support. Once, when you're in a caring role, you get a lot of the benefits. But once you then stop caring, there is nothing
There's
there
the
to
silence.
support. Exactly.
There's just a silence. You're no longer with the person that you loved.
No, so you're grieving.
You're
so
grieving.
on top of that, you're grieving. You've got no income because they don't give you any sort of grace to grieve. It's like you're just back out there. And I just think that's it's just
And
harsh, isn't it?
bereavements trigger so many things.
Of course it does.
For people.
Of
And he
course.
had become homeless, this
Oh.
poor chap, and he was sleeping in the car park of a supermarket.
Yeah.
But he had befriended the security officers there, and they were keeping an eye out for him. And I remember when he left, we packed everything into his bag.
Yeah.
And as we were packing everything in, the bag was sort of coming apart. But what we were doing is we were then tying things around the bag. It's a bit like a metaphor for his
Yes.
life. We're tying things in bows, just as we were, putting
Repairing his
love
life
around
almost.
him,
Yeah,
and
yes.
sort of giving him clothing.
Yeah.
And he went away with this bag, and he said, "Don't worry about me. I know where to get breakfast. I know where to have a shower, and I'm going to get that job."
Yeah. And he was confident. You
And he was
gave him that.
confident.
You gave him that hope. And that's the important thing. That's like that message that's just really jumping out with everything you're saying. You're providing a safe place for these men to come and talk about their stories. That, they're able to talk about what's going on for them. That means they feel safe. It's a safe environment for them to do that.
Yes.
And it's not many places like that, Maria.
Yes, I
So
agree.
that is, I commend that. And then the fact that now they've got hope, to go out there and take that experience and think, well, actually, they believe in me. So, yeah, and I believe in myself. I look good. They've taken the time to make me look like this. I think that just makes a whole lot of difference, doesn't it, to people's confidence.
It makes so much difference. And I think
Yeah.
coming to Seated and Booted, it is an experience.
Yeah.
And we try to help our clients have a wonderful experience. We try to create a nice, psychologically inviting and warm atmosphere.
Sounds like it.
Which is just what we want.
Yeah.
And then our volunteer stylists will greet our client, talk to them about their job, the kind of job they're going for, what they
Yes.
might need.
Yeah.
And they're with people who really do care about the outcome,
Yeah.
and who really want them to do well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I've been in that environment, so I know I can speak firsthand. That
Fantastic.
beautiful team, and it is such a lovely environment. Which takes us to clients, because, what can clients expect when they arrive at the door of your services? What can they expect?
Well, what I hope they expect, and what I really feel we can offer, and what I really feel we can deliver, is a first-class service.
Yeah.
I was on the telephone the other day talking to a client, and he made a joke. He said, "Well, from the way you talk, you would think you were," and he named a street in London that has lots and lots of tailoring. And I thought, that's exactly what we do.
Exactly,
Feel we're
yeah,
like. We want you to have a first-class experience.
Yeah.
We want you to feel that you're looked after,
Yeah.
that your needs are met, and that we understand clothing,
Yeah.
and we can fit you in the perfect suit, and we can make you feel $1 million.
Wonderful.
And-
that's amazing. So Luke, you are somebody who's gone through that experience.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about how that was for you? I mean, by the way, you look dapper, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Thank
Really
you.
good. So just tell us a little bit about your experience when you arrived at Suited and Booted.
Yeah, so I arrived, I think I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And I'd had suits as a child, but not as like a teenager. So I remember going, and I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I wasn't expecting what came when I went in. So I walked in, and the first thing I got offered was a glass of water. And for me, I was just like, oh wow. Like I didn't expect that, and it goes back to what you're saying about the 5-star service.
Yeah.
So I got offered a glass of water, I got asked if I was okay, how the journey was, and it really just made me feel relaxed.
Good.
Made me feel like I was in an atmosphere where people cared. And it just helped me sort of get into the mind frame of feeling like not sort of going for a daunting experience, because that's what I was sort of going through in my head, because at that time I wasn't really going to central London. So going there in the clothes I was wearing, I felt a bit out of place. But then I've come here and I've been made to feel as if I almost belong there. So after I dropped my bag, had a glass of water, we then went in for the fitting. And that's when sort of my eyes were just open. I walked in and I saw all the clothes, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was such a new experience. I was like, I've never experienced anything like this before. And the stylists and the volunteers were so friendly. I was showered with compliments as well, which really boosted my self-esteem. And I was just getting lots of positive affirmation. Everything I tried on, every shirt, every jacket, I was being told I looked really good, and it almost like I started to see myself a bit better in that sense.
Good, wow.
Because I was looking in the mirror and I was trying it on, I was like, oh yeah, this is alright, but then I was being told, no, you look fantastic, and I'm just like, well, maybe I do look a bit fantastic.
Like to believe that, right? Good.
So it was nice. It was a confidence boost, and it made me it opened my eyes to really see how much wearing a suit can change the dynamic of how you're perceived.
True.
And that was a major thing for me. And one thing Maria said is that when I got into the suit, it's like I transformed into a different person. And you said I looked happy. I remember you saying I look a bit more confident. And so it was just the best experience. And I remember going home and I couldn't wait to tell my mum, couldn't wait to try it on. And then I went for my job interview. I got the job.
Wow, congratulations. Well done, Luke.
Thank you.
Well done.
And then I was able to use that same suit for different interviews I'd gone to and different things like that. So it was definitely an impactful experience, an eye-opening one, and one that stuck with me up until this point now.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's definitely had an imprint on my journey.
That's amazing. Wow, what an experience. What a lovely. Thank you for sharing that. And it's amazing. And what you touched on was when you said that you weren't used to wearing suits. You know, it was like almost like the first time to kind of put on a full suit. You know, and for some people, you never think, actually, this might be the first time that they're actually going to put on a suit.
Exactly.
You know, so it needs to be sensitively done and really delivered in a way to give people a chance to actually get used to something that's very new. And you said everything right, that, you know, people gave you those compliments, and when you looked at yourself, you know, you just felt that difference, and that's so nice to hear that. And it's so positive. And I think, you know, you touched on it, how you look does make a difference. How you look does make a difference to how you feel. People tend to think it's sometimes the other way around, but actually, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you look good, people telling you look good, you can start to feel good. You know, and that's what you've just really explained just now. So how do you feel about suits now? Do you never want to take off a suit?
I love it. I love getting dressed in one, and for some reason it just feels a little bit better when you walk through central London in a suit.
Wow,
there you go.
It feels so much better.
There's something that comes with wearing a suit, doesn't it? You know, and looking that dapper, and people looking at you and thinking, you know, and you feel yourself like, yes, you know, I'm doing something positive, and I feel positive. Oh, that's
yes, and of course it is that two-way process, because you feel good, and then of course it has an impact on your future employer, because you know people will judge you so quickly. You know, there's people talk about the 30-second rule, but sometimes I think it might be even quicker than that. The minute you walk through that door at your interview, your future employer will look at you and think, what are they wearing? How do they look?
Absolutely.
Because they're going to judge you on, has this person made an effort? Because if you're wearing a suit and you've made an effort, it shows that you have a professional approach to your future employer and your job.
And you care about how you look. You know, if you care about how you look, that says something about you. You know, and so I think it does make a difference, and you've just really just kind of showcase that in your explanations and your sharing of your journey. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So we've got like a minute and a half. So just tell us about the specific client group and how people can access your group, your services, and what's that criteria.
Our client group, anyone who needs a helping hand. So if you need a helping hand, you can come to Suited and Booted, and our client group will come from different circumstances and therefore different backgrounds.
Good.
But we're there to help everyone. So we could be seeing perhaps a graduate, we could be seeing someone who is long-term unemployed, perhaps a care leaver,
Yes.
perhaps someone in mental health recovery from the the NHS. We do see some prisoners sometimes, and sometimes we help families. So we're helping a mother who would like the son to get on in life, and they need a boost for their future job interviews.
Well, wow,
And-
that's excellent. I mean,
Yes.
it sounds like you've got a range of
There really is.
different. Yeah, the
There really is a
criteria
range.
is endless.
Yes.
I know. For us at Elaine Recruitment, we have referral rights, so we can always refer to you. But I know
course
that
we
you
can.
get referrals from local
Yes.
authorities,
Exactly.
from job centres,
Perhaps
so
homeless
and
charities.
homeless charities.
Hostels. We work with Veterans Aid as well.
Okay,
Yes.
brilliant.
And
So
it's a simple referral process.
Yeah.
You can just email me and we can tell you the referral process.
okay, that's brilliant. Okay, well, thank you both so much for coming
It's
along.
been our absolute
It's just
pleasure.
been amazing having you guys come along and talk about this great charity, Suited and Booted.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Luke,
Thank you for having
for
me.
your, sharing your story and your journey. And I wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you.
Maria, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Keep up the
Brenda.
good work.
Thank you.
We're going to continue to work together anyway.
We are, indeed. We're going
so
forward together.
Keep up the good work that you're doing in
Absolutely.
the community.
And thank you.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
keeping in touch. Thank you.